Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Before I start, I just wanted to say thank you for all the comments and new subscribers. I feel so blessed. Thank you so much for interacting with me and for liking and subscribing to the channel and giving me an opportunity to try and take this channel in a different direction. I was just so surprised and just incredibly happy with the reception that the videos got. So thank you so much for that. Welcome to a new Friday Reads. Today I want to review a book that I finished since my last Friday Reads, and also talk to you about what I'm currently reading this week that I continued all of that. So I finished The Turn of the Screw very early on Monday. So I think it was 5 in the morning. My cat has been waking me up at 5:30 every single day. I'm not entirely sure why. I know, and at the same time, I wonder if I'm correct, but we'll see. I think he feels like I'm not sleeping and he wakes up because I haven't been sleeping that well due to my current condition, and I tend to wake up in the middle of the night and I sit and I'm on my phone for a while, and because of that, he wakes up and starts meowing for attention. So I bring him into the living room and I sit here and I just read. So Monday morning, I finished The Turn of the Screw. I thought about filming a separate video to review this book, but because it's so short and what I have to say is not that much, I figured I would do it now. So The Turn of the Screw is just a classic ghost story. If you are looking for a ghost story, this is one that I think everybody should read. Now, I wouldn't consider this a favorite of mine. There were a few things that were not my cup of tea. For example, Henry James' writing style, I don't think that's for me. Some of his passages are so convoluted. I actually had to go back and reread a lot of passages because I wasn't sure if I was following the story correctly. And that's because, first of all, he has very, very long sentences and paragraphs. And also, his dialogues are very ambiguous. So you have two characters talking about something, but it's never explicit. It's like you're listening into a conversation and you have no context. Just give you a very practical example. Imagine our narrator is talking to Miles, the little boy in the story, and she's trying to get him to confess to something. And it's like they're talking in code, but she's very happy with the outcome of the conversation. You're the one who doesn't understand exactly what he said. So he says something along the lines of, "Do you think I did that? Well, I think you did it. Did you? Well, maybe I did it." And we're like, okay, but what did you do? So the dialogues were very ambiguous, very hard to follow in my opinion. And every time that happened, I felt like it was my fault, and that's why I had to go back and read the beginning of the chapter again, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. But I'm not giving up on him. I would like to read more of his novels before I form an opinion. This is just one book, but the writing style, the very ambiguous dialogues were just a little bit too much for me. On the other hand, I love the gothic elements. I love the atmosphere of the book. I think I mentioned this on my last Friday reads, but it's not like the book was making me uncomfortable, but every now and then reading it at night, it was a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes, shadows play with your mind, and you go to bed thinking about what you just read. So yeah, I think I liked the atmosphere a lot, and I also liked the emotional strain our narrator was put in. She was very emotionally overwhelmed with everything, and I think it helped bring everything together in terms of this being a good ghost story. So I would say read the book for what it is. It is a classic, but I can't tell you that this is one of my favorites. Right now it's not, but I do see myself rereading it one day. I'm just sad that I watched Bly Manor before I read this, because I was expecting more similarities, couldn't find them. So a lot of characters were missing, a lot of aspects of the show were not present in this book, and unfortunately, because I watched the show first, I was always trying to compare both. But this book stands for what it is, and I still think that you should read it and form your own opinion, but I don't know if this is going to be a favorite. So that's my review. I'm not going to go into detail because it's so short, it's so easy to spoil this book, so I'm just not going to say anything else. So after I finished The Turn of the Screw, I decided to continue with one of my current reads. I have so many books on the go on my Goodreads page that I just decided to just pick one up and continue with it. I thought about continuing my reread of Dracula, but wasn't really feeling it. So I picked up Cousin Bazilio by Queiroz. Queiroz was a 19th century Portuguese novelist. He's my favorite Portuguese author. And this edition is 371, I believe, 71 pages long, yes. Not even an entire page, 370 and a little bit. And I'm currently on page 136, so it's not like I read that much. I actually didn't read a lot on Monday. I was just feeling very, very tired. But I've been trying to read a little bit every day. This follows Louisa. She is married to George. I just said George like it's an English name, George. He's an engineer, and he's not really in the picture anymore. He was at the beginning of the book, but now he's away at a different city in Portugal working, and she's left alone. They're not incredibly wealthy, but they are comfortable, and Louisa is just spending her days, not doing much because she really doesn't have anything to do other than read and play the piano and entertain. And her cousin and former significant other, yes, that happened a lot here in Portugal. I'm sure it's not a surprise. He came back from his trip. He's been away for years and years. They were supposed to be married, but he left to work and decided to break off the engagement, and they haven't spoken since. But now he's back. He is doing well. Wealthy man. He has traveled a lot, so he is aware of, latest trends and all of that in Paris and London. He's been to Brazil, and he's still in love with Louisa. So since her husband is not in the picture, he's been trying to woo her. Louisa is very conflicted because on the one hand she loves George, but on the other, Bazilio is so dreamy. And then we have all of these amazing side characters. So we have Sebastião. He is one of George's childhood friends, and he's very concerned because everybody that lives on that street has already noticed this handsome man spending a long time at their house, and they know that her husband is not in the picture. So what is she doing entertaining this man? Like, who is he? What is she doing? And he's concerned because he doesn't want his friends to be judged. So he tries to warn her. Then we have one of her maids, Juliana, who is incredibly jealous of everybody because she had such a difficult life. She never got what she wanted. She has been a maid her entire life. She never had anyone in her life to help her. She doesn't have a husband. She is now, unfortunately, past the age of having children, so she is very bitter and jealous of Louisa. So she's always trying to find something that could, in a way, provoke an argument. In the beginning of the book, she does exactly that. She just talks too much, and then she sort of provokes an argument between husband and wife, simply because she had to speak. She had to speak up when it wasn't really her business to do so. So we have our antagonist here as well. Queiroz wrote a lot of these stories, a lot of family-centered stories, family sagas, which is something that I love. He also uses his books to criticize society at the time. I actually read something and I completely agree. This is like a Portuguese Madame Bovary. With the exception that I think Louisa is a bit more likable than Madame Bovary. Madame Bovary, in my opinion, was very annoying. I think Louisa is better. I think she's more innocent. I think she's naive. She's not as cunning as Madame Bovary, but I like the comparison. So, Cousin Bazilio. Queiroz wrote a lot of books, and I think almost all of them, if not all of them, are translated to English. So if you like, you can pick up one of his novels. And today is February 2nd. So yesterday I started Agnes Gray by Brontë as part of my Brontë project 2024, but also for the We Love Jenny readathon. And I'm currently buddy reading this with Katja and Faye. We have a chat room on Instagram, and I actually named it Brontë Project 2024 just in case we end up buddy reading more books throughout the year, or if any of you would like to join. Basically, we are just sharing favorite passages or commenting on anything that we find interesting. But this is what I've started yesterday. We're reading 3 chapters a day because the book is so short. My edition is 153 pages. And because we all have different editions, I didn't want to have a page number set, a number of pages that we needed to read every day. It's easier to do it with chapters. I'm enjoying my reread, not a whole lot to say yet, but it's just wonderful to go back and read Anne Brontë's writing. I love her writing. I think she's just so underappreciated, unfortunately. But I think I'll have more to say because I want to film a separate video about Agnes Gray next week, sort of give you a check-in, so I don't want to say too much right now. And that's all I've been reading this week. And I'm really happy with all the progress that I've been making, and I'm really happy that I'm so motivated again to read, but also to film. And again, so happy with how the videos were received, how well they were received, and yeah, thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment saying if, I don't know, if you agree with me when it comes to, you know, Henry James, or if you know I said Queiroz, or if you are reading or thinking about picking up a Brontë novel this year. Maybe we could buddy read a Brontë novel. Just let me know and we can talk on Instagram. And yeah. So if you don't feel like leaving a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.